Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host BKP, and joining us now is Gina Pendley, Georgia Mountains Hospice. Gina, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, sometimes I think we'll go here, but then we'll go a little backwards. Sometimes I think the first time I ever heard of Mardi Gras in the mountains, I was wondering, what is this? But first, before we talk about Mardi Gras in the mountains that's coming up, tell us about Georgia Mountain Hospice and what Georgia Mountain Hospice is about first.
Okay. Georgia Mountains Hospice is a nonprofit hospice. We're the only true nonprofit hospice in this area. We're governed by an all-volunteer board of directors. So there's no corporation, no company behind us. We're just a freestanding operation. We've been there for 25 years. September was our 25th birthday. And we cover 10 North Georgia counties. We cover Cherokee, Pickens, Gilmer, Fannin, Union, Dawson, Forsyth, Murray, Bartow, and Gordon. So we cover a big area. We go into patients' homes, patients that have a terminal or life-limiting illness. Medicare, that's who pays us, Medicare and Medicaid, some private insurance. But Medicare says that these patients have to have a 6 months or less diagnosis. Now, that's if the disease runs its natural course, you know.
Right.
Sometimes it's longer, but that's what we deal with. We try to keep these patients as comfortable and happy and with as much dignity as possible in their own homes or nursing homes, assisted livings.
So you cover 10 counties, and it's for terminally ill going into patients' homes. And just to reiterate, you said you're a true nonprofit organization, run by a volunteer board of directors.
Right, that's my boss. I have a group of nurses, aides, social workers, chaplains, volunteers that go into these patients' homes.
Now, what is so if you're paid through Medicare or Medicaid, whichever one, and you're paid through that, and you go into these homes, I know they don't pay out a lot, but you have several fundraisers throughout the year.
I do.
I mean, it's not just we're coming up on Mardi Gras in the mountains, but while we have this opportunity to talk, cover several of the fundraisers that you have also throughout the year before we get to this one.
Right. Well, as you said, Mardi Gras in the mountains we've done for 14 years. We have our first fundraiser that we ever did was the John Davis Golf Tournament, which everybody here in LJ knows John Davis. He's the founder of our tournament. And we have, this year will be our 27th year. This tournament was actually startup money. We raised it. We did the first one here at White Path to start up Georgia Mountains Hospice.
So this fundraiser, the John Davis
Golf Tournament.
This fundraiser is actually what really started kicking off and was the money you used to start Georgia Mountains Hospice.
Right. Originally, Georgia Mountains Hospice was a sister agency to, and I don't know if a lot of people will remember, Northwest Home Health years ago. It's now Amedisys Home Health. When Amedisys came into this area and bought Northwest Home Health, he didn't want hospices. That wasn't what his company did. They just bought home health. So at that time, around 1999, 2000, Georgia Mountains Hospice became freestanding. So that's why we are freestanding. We were a sister agency, if you want to go back history, with Northwest Home Health originally.
So that golf tournament is coming up here soon?
Yes.
When does that one happen?
It's June the 5th. It's always the first Wednesday in June.
Okay. Before we get to this, any other fundraisers?
We do. Oh, yes, we do. We do what's called a Denim and Diamonds.
Yes, I know.
Now all of them are fun. Don't get me wrong.
No, they are.
We have a good time. All of them are fun. But
they're fun fundraisers. They really are.
They are. And they're very successful. We have a lot of support from this community. I couldn't be more thankful and appreciative to this generous communities, all of them that we live in. But Denim and Diamonds, I guess, for my staff, is the most fun. It's boots, blue jeans, and bling. So you wear your boots and your blue jeans and your bling, real or not, to this, and it is a little more laid back. It's we do have a band DJ type thing. We have a silent auction there as well, but it's more of a bigger line dancing type party where the Mardi Gras is a little more black tie optional wine, you know.
So we're going from the golf tournament to denim.
It's in the fall.
Denim and diamonds in the fall. Okay, now let's get to Mardi Gras in the mountains. Tell us what Mardi Gras in the mountain is, and we're going to go through and we're going to give you a chance to see all of the contestants, or what I say, the contestants for King and Queen, that you can vote for by donating. But tell us, what was the inspiration to get this? Is 14?
Okay.
Is it
it's 14 years ago?
What was the inspiration, and what is this fundraiser?
Okay, 14 years ago, the Knights of Columbus, which is a men's group in the Catholic Church, came to us and said they wanted to do a fundraiser, pardon me, for Georgia Mountains Hospice. They wanted to partner with us, and this was their idea, Mardi Gras in the Mountains. They had the group that wanted the manpower, they wanted to help, but they didn't have the way to put it on. They needed a nonprofit. They just didn't know how to get it started, the organization. So it was started, Mardi Gras in the Mountains. And we partnered with them and did the first one at the school. We did a couple of them here in LJ, and just, you know, they were smaller, quite a bit smaller, about 150 people, you know. So about 7 years ago, the Rotary Club in Jasper asked if they could partner with this. They brought to the table people. You know, we had the organization, we had the event, you know, we had the date. So they wanted to make it a little larger. And they came up with an idea. We would get King and Queen nominees from 4 different counties. So I get a King and Queen from Gilmer County, Pickens County, Cherokee County, and Dawson County. People raise money. $1 equals 1 vote, or $100 is 100 votes, to get people to just vote for this King and Queen for no reason. They just give money. It's free money. And the one who has the most votes win. Now, I will be honest and say I thought that was the hokiest idea I'd ever heard of to start with. I didn't really think people would do that. Now these King and Queens raise anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000, depending on how much they work every year. I've eaten my word several times over the last. So
when they first, I understand. I understand that you got to think about this.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How did this? This sounds a little. I'll go with
a little hokey,
right? So the first time they brought it to you, like, okay, we'll put up a King and Queen candidate for every county.
Yeah, first you got to get people to agree to do that.
Right, you got to get them to agree to do that, and then we'll put them up as candidates, and people can donate. Every dollar is a vote.
Right.
Some people donate $3, $300, or whatever.
Right.
And that's how we'll raise money. And at first you're thinking, really? And now it's
and you got to get people that are willing to go out and ask for money. You've got to get people that have buy-in to your cause, whether it be hospice or the charities that, now, granted, hospice gets the majority of the money, but Rotary and the Knights of Columbus, here in LJ, it goes toward the food pantry and pregnancy center and some of the charities that they participate in here. Same thing, St. Vincent de Paul in Jasper. But you have to get people.
So Georgia Mountains Hospice is the
largest recipient.
Largest recipient. But through these counties, there are other charities that do benefit from it.
Right. It stays in these 2 counties, though. The money stays in these 2 counties.
Well, I will say this. Let's do this really quickly, and then we'll ask a couple final questions. Now, these are our candidates. And we're going to put up our first one. This is Cherokee. This is the candidate for Cherokee County Queen, Lori Davis. Okay. All right. His system froze up a little bit there. He's going to give me the high sign when he's ready to put him up. But now on the king and queen candidates, let me ask you this before we get to that. He's going to tell me when we're ready. How much do you raise on this generally, and how much does this generally bring in as a fundraiser?
Well, the total the event brings in, we usually profit anywhere from probably $60,000 to $70,000.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Are you ready, Josh? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go now. The candidate for Cherokee County Queen, Lori Davis. Mm-hmm. There's Lori. That's the candidate there. Now, when we get done, we're going to tell you how you can go and vote for these candidates and donate. We're going to tell you that. Our next Cherokee County King candidate is Eddie Robinson there. He is the candidate there in Cherokee County for King. Moving over to Dawson County, all right, the Dawson Queen candidate is Andrea McKenzie. Right there she is. She's a candidate in Dawson for Queen. And our King candidate in Dawson, Bob Allman. Right there he is. And there's Bob. And Gilmer County, which many of us know, is Cindy Thurman West there. Gilmer County candidate for Queen. And our King candidate in Gilmer County is Robert Ferguson. There's our candidate for King here in Gilmer County. And then Pickens County Queen and King are pictured together.
They are.
There's Michelle Robinson and Gerard Monty. There they are. They're their candidates there, and they have individual donation buttons, but they're pictured together. Now let me say this before we finish our time here. You go to, if you'll go to Georgia Mountain Hospice, or you just type in search Mardi Gras in the mountains, and I promise in the search key it'll come up. Or you go to Georgia Mountains Hospice website, right on the top there's the big picture there, Mardi Gras in the mountain. You click on that and you'll go right to the page there, and you have an opportunity to vote. There's a button there, there's a donate button under every candidate that you could choose to make a donation to this great cause here. Now, when is this happening?
It's March the 2nd. It'll be at Chattahoochee Technical College. And do I have just a minute?
Yeah, we got, yeah.
We do fundraisers, and I told you the first fundraiser was startup money. But I want people to know that the fundraisers, the money that we get, it doesn't go for overhead or salaries. This money goes for a couple of programs. One of them is indigent funds. I've been there at Georgia Mountains Hospice for 24 years, and we have never turned down anyone because they couldn't pay, because they had no funding or no insurance. They're not treated any different from anyone else just because they don't have the money to pay for our services. We will take anyone. We've never turned them down. And you do have a lot of people in this area that may have cut timber or are too young to have Medicare or been in business for themselves and don't have insurance, can't afford it. We've always taken them. We take children. We're the only hospice in this area that will take children. We have 2 children right now. It's a little more expensive and a little more difficult to take children. So that's something that Georgia Mountains Hospice has always done. Veteran care, we have special programs for our veterans. We are, I don't want to say partnered, but we work very closely with the VA. We attend monthly meetings with the VA. They have a special program. We're a level 4 partnership. We're the only hospice in this area that have completed that partnership. There's only 21 in the state of Georgia that have done it. So, I mean, there's a lot of things about Georgia Mountains Hospice that we use this money for, other than just to keep the doors open and pay the bills.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because that was exactly what I wanted to discuss, is because throughout the time here that we've been talking, we could have people, which most people say, okay, donate, raise money, and most people want to know, and we're giving people. Right. We just are. People like to support things, and America's the most giving country in the world, but we want to know, where does the money go? Right. And I think that was important for us to round out with this morning, is where does the money go? And you do have an indigent care, and that is meaning if you can't pay and you don't
Right.
have any source to pay, so you have an indigent care and you've never turned anybody down. I think I can understand, just thinking about it for a minute, you take children and you say that's a little more difficult.
It is more difficult. Their care is a little
Right,
more
a little
expensive.
different, more expensive. So, but you take children and you work closely with the VA, you attend their meetings, and you work closely with them in any way that you can to help that way veterans.
We're very proud of our service to the veterans, and we do a program called Wishes and Dreams. Part of this money goes to that program. I patterned it after kind of the Make-A-Wish program. Some people, it's not based on income. Some people don't have, if they're caring for someone, they don't have the time or just the energy to sit down and plan something or do something special sometimes. But we have paid for people to do a last trip to Gatlinburg because that's where they spent their anniversary. So we'll help set that up. We take this money. We had a 12-year-old that we had in Dawsonville that wanted to go to a Georgia Tech game. Ed Singleton and I worked to get him tickets at the 50-yard line to the Georgia Tech game, and he took his mother and his brother and his 12-year-old girlfriend. I show a video at Mardi Gras to explain some of the things we've done because, again, I want people to know where their money goes, and I want them to feel good about the money they donate and what they're giving. I want it to I want them to want to give to this agency. So, I mean, I want them to know.
Folks, just where we
Sorry.
started. No, you did not know. You did an outstanding job. Where we started this morning was talking about that Georgia Mountains Hospice does not turn people down. It is a true nonprofit run by a volunteer board of directors, okay, that raises money for the different, and you see the different ways they use the funds that they raise. But something that, very, very important here is where someone has been diagnosed with a terminal illness, has been diagnosed with 6 months to live, and that's their mission. That's what they do, and they do a great job at it. And thank you very much. More information, don't forget, Georgia Mountains Hospice. That's all you got to do. Type that in. You're going to find it on the web. You can find Mardi Gras in the mountains, find out how to participate, how to donate for one of the candidates we showed you. And also, if you want to share this with your friends, you go to FYNTV, Fetch Your News YouTube channel, and share this video this morning with your friends. Gina, thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. You've helped me. A lot of information for me, and that's what we enjoy here, is bringing you information. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll be back after these messages.